Hi Virgo, welcome to your July 2025 Taroscope with me, Raphael from Reydiant Reality. So I polled, I asked, you answered, majority wins. So if you don't like this format, unfortunately you should have voted, all right? That's just how it is. I've split them because tarot genuinely does tend to favor the sun sign. So if you're asking the question, which one should I watch for, my sun, moon, or rising, I will say this to you. I would love it if you would watch all three, obviously. But if you're only going to watch one tarot reading, make sure it's for your sun sign. It's usually the most accurate on that day-to-day level. With that said, I would like to bless my decks of cards with all forms of love, light, peace, prosperity, and abundance. And I pray that the messages that come through are ultimately clear and concise and they help you on your path to your highest vibrational good. So I'm going to shuffle these and pop them to the side. Not long now, Virgo, and we'll be stepping into your season, all right? Not long now at all. So I'm going to give these a shuffle as well. And here we go. So for your first card out, your actions and options over the course of July 2025, you have the Ten of Swords, right? So this is a time of endings, release, and completions. Your actions are very focused on what you are no longer resonating with, what you are letting go of, what you're phasing out. I actually think this is a month of brutal honesty about who, what, and all the rest of it that makes the cut or doesn't. And in terms of the actions that you're taking, this is about you closing down the things that don't matter, releasing the things that are not doing what they say on the tin, getting rid of, releasing, phasing out, or moving away from anything that just really doesn't align any longer. I also think this is a really brutal, honest moment about where it is that you feel burnt out in some way, and getting really honest with yourself and the world about that. When it comes to the options that are available to you, there is a chance to end something or complete something, or even potentially to hash it out with somebody, right? So not necessarily an easy thing, but not necessarily a bad thing either. Now, for your communications and conversations, you've got the Five of Pentacles, which means that there will likely be conversations around things that are coming to an end, a close, or a release point. The fact that you've got this coupled with the Ten of Swords, it does feel like the quality of conversation this month is about what you really just don't want, don't need, don't resonate with, won't put up with. There's like some brutal honesty this month from you guys, I think. There's also a possibility, not a guarantee, but it is possible that some of you could be having conversations about who or what has disappointed you in some way. And I'll be honest, for those of you that are studying or in some form of academia, it looks like you could be maybe looking at the institution of education that you are a part of, whether that's your school, college, or university, or the educational system as a whole, and really kind of looking at it to say, I don't think this is serving me in the way that I would like it to. So you get really brutally honest about that and you start sort of moving to kind of make change, right? Like to create real change in that area for yourself. If you are employed by somebody else, this could be that you're looking at your employer, maybe having conversations where you do need to stand up for yourself, where you do need to own a situation, maybe even where you have to draw a boundary of some sort. It's possible that you could be highlighting the shortcomings of your institution and or workplace. It's also possible that there could be conversations around your pay and your the resources that you gain from the job that you do. Now, for those of you that are business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, people that work for themselves, if you have employees, I wouldn't be surprised if one of them is leaving this month, or for any number of reasons. It doesn't have to be that you have a fallout. It could be that you are disappointed with one of them. It could be that one leaves, and it might have something to do with this person's health or their own, personal situations. When it comes to those of you that are retired and no longer working, Please, 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 please be extra careful with your back this month. Just extra careful with your back and your shoulders in particular. Just, yeah, please be extra careful with that area of self. For your love and relations, you've got the Knight of Swords. Honestly, I think this is the work schedules between you and your significant other that are clashing. Now, this could be because both of you, like let's say one of you works nights and one of you works days. It could also be that one of you is going out of town for work or for work purposes, and that creates its own sort of logistical problems or issues. It could also be that a trip that you had planned with a partner or a significant other, for some reason or another, gets put either on hold, pushed back, or just doesn't go ahead. And it may have something to do with the finances or the resources. Maybe your partner comes to you and says, look, I really can't afford this at this moment in time. And, the whole financial burden's going to be on you. So, what can we do about that? It could also be that you look at the situation and kind of just say to yourself, you know what, I don't want to, maybe I don't want to go on this trip, right? Maybe I'm just not in the mood for it. So there's a few ways that this could unfold. Another way is if you are single, this could be that maybe you go on a holiday of some sort and maybe you connect to somebody who's a little bit of a volatile character. I would also say if you do connect with somebody this month, it's likely that they don't live close. And, the challenge with this, or the problem that creates, is if they don't live close, then you're always against it with the time and the clock anyway, right? So just keep that in mind. And I will say, for those of you that are, not necessarily very long established, like if you've been married 20 plus years and your partner is away for work, it's less likely to be a problem. If you are newlyweds and your partner says to you, right, I'm going to have to move half the world away for the next 8 months, it's going to be a bit more of a problem. Do you know what I mean? Because there's not that seniority of the relationship. It's not as cemented as such. So it'd be interesting to see what comes up in the comments from you guys here as well, actually. For your money and materials, you have the King of Cups. Okay, so this month, when it comes to your money-making abilities, I want you to pay really, really close attention to the intuitive nudges and hits that you get about moves that you should make. There's likely to be at least 1 or 2 that come up this month where you're like, this really doesn't make any sense. I don't know why I'm being guided to do this or to say this or to pursue this or whatever the case might be, but I just know that it's something that I have to do. This is a month to trust your intuitive leanings as far as it comes to work and your monetary, recompense. That being said, you do have this 5 of Pentacles in the midst of all of this. So do expect some kind of financial upheaval. Your job is to not get into all of your feels about it and to just take your time, okay? Before we get into the rest of it, if you are not on my mailing list, what are you doing? You're not getting my my Monday, Wednesday, and Friday emails. All kinds of insights, astrological, numerological. I talk about all kinds of different things. On a Friday, I give you a special kind of discount on various different services. These are things that you will only get if you're on that mailing list, as well as the opt-in. So sign up for that, sign up for my emails, and you will get all kinds of excellent goodies that you do not get anywhere else on my socials. That being said, if you want to book a personal tarot reading, you can do so on the link in the description box below. You can get a Zoom session, which is 60 minutes, where we really get into the nitty-gritty of it all. You can get a personal recorded video. Imagine this that I do on YouTube, but like 50 or 60 minutes long, all right? Much more in depth, much more focused, and obviously specifically aligned to you and your energy. Again, link is in the description box below. So for your physical health and vitality, This month, pay attention to your reproductive health. Again, doesn't have to be that there's like a problem. It could just be that maybe this is an area that you need extra support. Obviously, as women age, they hit menopause. As men age, well, basically everything slows down, as they say, right? So this might be something that needs to be looked at. With the combination of cards that you've got going on, it does look like something is not where you need it to be. If you're a childbearing age and you're looking to have children, it's also something that you might want to check into. When it comes to your home and environment, this is really about creating an environment that fosters or taps into or supports your own creative endeavors and or your work. So you're being asked to really think about how you can move in a direction that supports what you're trying to create in some regard. So for your key to the month, you've got the Star card. Whatever else these cards are telling you, the Star is basically saying you've got to look for the ray of hope in all of this. Don't just look at these cards and be like, oh, well, it's a shit month, because it's not. There are other avenues out of this, and I think a lot of what's showing up for you this month is really trying to get you to think outside of the doom and gloom, to find the hope, to look for the optimism. And then finally, your human design oracle message is the Gate 41 and fantasy. Yes, there are times where our daydreams and reveries are just that, daydreams, reveries and fantasy. And then there are times where believing in the magic is really what creates the change, right? Believing in what you cannot see but desire to have is a really powerful driving force. Like, belief and hope get a really bad rap in the world in this day and age, right? But I'm very open, very vocal about the path that I've traveled. I remember 2015, 2016, where my life was quite literally down the fucking shitter. And I remember thinking to myself, like, wow, this is bad, Raf. Like, and you know what I mean? You're kind of at rock bottom, buddy. And I remember saying to myself, okay, yeah, it sucks now, but it's not always going to be like this. I believe that there is going to be much brighter and better days ahead of me. And I hope, and I'm going to tap into and lean on that hope, that the universe is going to meet me halfway. And not only did it, but it absolutely delivered a gazillion blessings that I never could have predicted for myself. So don't let the world make you hard. Don't let this month rob you of your hope and your ability to daydream, because while those things are not, they're not the material aspect, they are sometimes the driving force for you to go for what it is that you really desire. All right, so whatever else is kind of coming up as a message this month, hold on to the hope. Look for, walk in that hope and that faith and that belief in what could be. With that said, I wish you an abundance of all of that good stuff. Let me know in the comments how it shapes up. Take care, and I'll see you soon.